Hello everyone, welcome back to another video here on Play on GAA with me, Seamus Brady, and for this one I'm joined by Jason Keeley of the Loaf of Bread GAA podcast and Mayo journalist Chloe Lynch. And in this one we are going to run through the two ladies football semi-finals. Of course, Kerry and Meath progressing to the final at the expense of Mayo and Donegal. The first game we're going to talk about is obviously Kerry versus Mayo, and Chloe, I'll come to you for this. Not the greatest day for Mayo, but still a great year for them and a great performance. Kerry 4-10, Mayo 13 points.
Obviously, absolutely heartbroken for the girls. They've had an absolutely amazing year. Me and you said on the last one, obviously Kerry have just been their toughest test. Look, I know what the scoreline looks bad, but if we had more time, can't take away say Lisa Caff Caffrey, Sinead Caffrey, Catherine Sullivan, absolutely outstanding. As we said the last one, Louise Murhertig she's on a whole different level in the terms of playing. And they're just, they're an absolutely amazing side. And I'll just be, coming up to the final on the 31st, obviously both teams have shown what they can do. But, it's just everyone in Mayo, even though we're heartbroken for the girls, they've got the experience now to realize that, oh my God, we can actually do this. Michael Moyles has been absolutely amazing with those girls. I just think, they just didn't perform. Maybe the being in the just in the playing sense, first time in Copar since I believe 2017. You can't I know they didn't get to the final. Obviously they want to go, but you can't take away how brilliant of a performance they were. Kerry just were on the ball from the start. They put up an absolutely amazing fight against Meath, and I'm really looking forward to it. But everyone in Mayo is saying, those girls have the experience now. They've realized here we can actually do this, and maybe they'll do it next year. You never know.
Yeah, very true. I mean, they have made great strides this year. You mentioned about Louise Murhertig's performance, 5 points from play. Sheaf Roche, of course, scoring 2 of the Kerry goals. Aisling O'Connell and Paris McCarthy popped up with the other 2 goals. Going forward in this game, Jason, it's undeniable. Kerry were brilliant.
Yeah, they were top class, and it's kind of an interesting one, that in the men's and the ladies final, it's going to be a case for both the oppositions. For Kerry, it's a case of stopping S. O'Shea in both cases, because Shawnee and Sheafrey, have certainly put the O'Shea name forward this year. As footballers go, I think Paris McCarthy is a brilliant player. Bit like, we were chatting about the men's football earlier, kind of, one of those unassuming kind of players, doesn't take huge headlines. Obviously, Louise Murhertig is unbelievable. She's on a different planet sometimes, when it comes to just strength in some cases, the ability obviously to shoot and get the scores when needed. But Paris McCarthy's kind of been a strong link player for between the half forwards and the forward line. They're going to be very hard to stop. It's hard to know if Meath still can muster up the same sort of fight that they have in the past, especially now. There's there's no problems in the camp, but the fact that Vicky, is heading, and there's someone else that's leaving the Mayo team, it's Orla Lally, I think, but Vicky is definitely going, and there's, in some ways, they kind of be doing it as in the hope that it'll be, the sort of swan song finale kind of thing for her before she heads down under. But I'd fancy Kerry just a little bit. I don't know why, just there's something about them. They kind of look like more of a complete team, Meath relying on Emma Duggan, again, another player to match performance, another kind of last minute thing. So yeah, I like Kerry. I like Kerry in both the men's and the women's final. I think could be an interesting double. Even though I hope Galway
when
win.
you look at the Meath versus Donegal, the point. Like, we all know, both in men and women, how the point can just like be the crucial decider in anthem. Like, I'd hate to know, like, maybe me just switched off the ball, because that wasn't performance of an all Ireland champions. Like, it has to be said. Like, Donegal, obviously probably the shocker throughout the whole thing. Like, it just, like, 12-107. Like, number one, they shouldn't have been letting in that goal. I'd say they were absolutely, like, panic mode hit to the fullest when they're going in at halftime. But it's just like, we all know, as I said, how the 1 point can just do it. But there were, when you look at the stats, like, me only first test were against Donegal, and like, Donegal, I was actually at Mayo versus Donegal at the beginning of January, and like, the Donegal should keep their heads up high, because they have absolutely brilliant ladies. But leading up to the 31st, I tell you, Meath have a lot of homework to be doing. Louise O'Merhertig will have a massive target on her back. But it'll be interesting to see, can Meath just hold up the champions label, because when you look at that match against Donegal, like, that wasn't All-Ireland championship performance. Like, and I'd say they were kicking themselves, because like, as I was like going back again to the 1 point, like, crucial, and for me, they just got them over the line this time.
Yeah, I mean,
I think Sean Ennis was enough to stop Louise, possibly.
Yeah.
That could be the one thing for me in their favour. Shauna was on my podcast before. She's great out crack, but there's a determination in her that is the reason that she was captain. The All Ireland winning team, and I think that's going to be my favourite battle on the pitch, is between Sean and Louise. I think that's going to be the most crack. Everyone obviously is going to be looking the other end at Vicky going forward, and Emma Duggan and Stacey Grimes and Orla Lally, etc. But the best battle is probably going to be Shauna against Louise. And I think Meath are going to have to rely on Monica McGurkin goals as well. Like, she is, for me, the best keeper in the country, and she's pulled off a few cracking saves already this season. So she's going to have her sternest test probably ever, I would say, in a couple of weeks' time.
Kerry have scored 4 goals now.
Battle, definitely.
Yeah, Kerry have scored 4 goals now in back-to-back games to get to this stage. So Meath definitely need to tighten up, and Meath have relied on late heroics now twice in a row from Emma Duggan, and they've been relatively slow up until that point. Now, Donegal are no slouches. They knocked out Dublin, but I feel like they won't get away with it the same way against Kerry. I feel like they need to be sharp now for the first, 3 quarters of the game, not rely on a final quarter dash. They need to kind of be solid out throughout the game. Anyway, guys, I cannot wait for the final. I will be asking you both to come back up for an actual preview of the final itself. Make sure you check out that here on Play on GAA. But until the next one, guys, here on Play on GAA, take care.